Catherine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Neil, and thank you to everybody for turning out for our presentation today. It's really, really good to see you all here. We're really, really grateful to have this partnership with Spirit of Adventure. It's now our 4th cruise this year, and we've had the partnership for 3 years now. And it allows us not only to come out and meet everyone and talk to them about marine conservation, whales, dolphins, and porpoises, but it also allows us to carry out our really important scientific surveys. My name's Catherine. I'm the wildlife officer for this trip. This is Tracy. She's the leader of the scientific team. And up on deck, getting cold, are Faye and Rachel. So we've just come in to warm up, really, and give this talk. So this talk is just really an introduction, and I'm also going to show you some of the animals that we're looking out for. So Organisation Cetacea, ORCA, is a charity that was formed in the year 2000. So it's our 10-year anniversary this year. But previous to that, we were out on ships recording seabirds. And then we noticed that there were lots of whales, dolphins, and porpoises in these European waters. And this was a really important discovery, so we decided to research this. So our main aims are to carry out these scientific surveys and then to also have an educational program as well. So ORCA, the charity, we go to sea. And this is some of our volunteers. They're up on the deck from dawn until dusk, collecting the very vital data. And this data is then available to researchers, students, and organizations, and also the government. And most of it is free of charge. And it basically allows us to predict where these animals may be by actually observing them, taking into account the environmental factors and the factors of the ocean, and then hopefully we can get some protection in these areas for them in the future. This is one of our data forms, so this is the kind of information we're collecting, not only about the animals, their behavior, where they're heading, but also about all the environmental factors which affect that. So once we've collected the data, some of our volunteer scientific team, or geeks, will then crunch the data, and we'll be able to find out things like this. This is really important research. Our data goes with 9 other organizations from 7 European countries, which are all part of the Atlantic Research Coalition. And we're able then to map where the animals are. These maps here show where the continental shelf drops off, which is the black line you can see along the map. So, oops. So this kind of black line here. And then the areas of red are areas of really high density of the animals, such as the common dolphin. And the areas, the pale areas or the blue areas, are low concentrations of the animals. So we can see from this slide, which is actually showing North Spain, the Biscay, that the common dolphins, they are found more in the coastal areas before the continental shelf drops off into deeper water. And then the fin whales, they're out more off the continental shelf and then a little bit more further out to sea. So that's probably where their food is, where they're traveling to get their food. So this is really important areas for them, and this is the kind of things that we discover. So where do we work? Well, we basically work in European waters, and we're on 7 ferries carrying out regular routes, and these are the routes that we take. And because we're on the ferries are actually doing a regular transect, which is really important for scientific study, because we're repeating the same area over time, and then we can find out things changing over the seasons and over the years. And of course, you need very long-term data. So it's an excellent opportunity to come onto all the ferries to do this. It also means we're using a vessel that's already out to sea, which obviously saves the charity money and doesn't add to anything out in the oceans. And then this is, of course, complemented by the one-off surveys that we do with Spirit of Adventure every year. So that really allows us to go into some very interesting and new areas, as you can see from these yellow lines. So apart from the surveys, we also get to talk to everybody on board. And they can't escape, which is great. these are some of the people that have got involved. We have wildlife officers, such as myself, based on ferries in the Biscay and the North Sea, and we're there whilst it's still light, so basically spring until autumn. And we carry out deck watches, children's activities, educational programs, and give presentations like this. And it's fantastic, and we get to meet lots and lots of people. And sometimes we really are opening up a whole new world for people. People that once would have gone onto a ferry and not really spent any time looking out to sea, come out, recognise some animals. They can then go home and take that a little bit further if they want to. They can also get involved with the charity, which is what we really hope people do. So why do we do it? Because of these. These are all the whales, dolphins, and porpoises that we have in the world. Fantastic. They all have a very similar form because they're built to live at sea, so they have this lovely torpedo shape and lots of blubber. But you can see there are also some very big differences in them as well. But most importantly, out of the 85 that we have in the world, we have over 30% of them in European waters. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can always come and ask us. That can be one of the many questions you ask us. But there are huge differences. So we can go from something really small, whoops, shouldn't let a learner driver on this.